Hello, boys and girls. Is your Christmas tree up? Is it bright with tinsel and ornaments? I wonder if you know the story of the first Christmas tree. That's me. Yes, I was the very first Christmas tree. Only I didn't wear bright ornaments. I was just... Oh, but that's telling the end of my story before I've even begun. Would you like to hear how I became the first Christmas tree? All right, sit back now and be very comfortable. I was born a long, long time ago. Before you were born. Even a long time before your daddy and mother were born. I was born in a lovely little forest in Judea. That's a country a long way off. I loved the little forest when I was young. Rabbits played beneath my branches in the spring, and in the fall the squirrels buried nuts beneath some of the needles I dropped. In the winter the wind made happy tunes through my branches, and in the summer you could hear the woodsman's axe singing happily as it chopped down trees to take their place in the world. I wanted very much to be chopped down and made into something fine and strong. So I waited and waited for a woodsman to choose me. But tree after tree was taken, and the woodsman barely glanced at me. Weeks passed, and finally all the trees were gone but me and the tree nearest me, a great stately oak. It was a bitter, cold autumn night, and you can imagine I was glad he was there to break the wind for me, but I was sorry, too. Why hadn't we been chosen? Great oak, I cried. Why are just we two left? Why? The huge oak shook his branches and said, I'm still here because I'm king of the forest. Because they're saving me for something very great. I shall be furniture in the house of a grand prince someday. That's what I shall. I cried, oh, goody. Then perhaps that's why I'm left, too. Not on your needles, you're not. They left you because you're hopeless. You're a skinny little scraggly runt of a pine, that's what you are. You'll probably stand alone on this hillside till you die of despair. Well, I guess I'd never realized how sickly I was till he said it. I shook my branches out full as I could, but they weren't much. I was indeed a sickly runt of a pine. I was sad and suddenly very lonely, and I missed the rabbits and the squirrels and the sunlight. There was a big, heavy lump in my heart. I guess if I'd been a boy or girl, I'd have cried myself to sleep. But I can't cry, so I just felt my sad heart cracking till finally I dozed off. When I awakened, it was daylight, and there was the sound of an axe cutting into my proud neighbor. Just as he thundered to the ground, I heard the woodsman say, wait till I tell my children that mine was the mighty arm that brought down the oak that's to become the throne of the emperor. The throne of the emperor? For a moment, I was warm inside. I had known the tree that was to be the throne of the emperor. Days passed. I tried to keep my spirits up, but it was very lonely on the cold hillside. Then one day, a poor old man came right up to me and said, it isn't much, but it'll have to do. And right away, he began to chop me down. I trembled with excitement, and I wouldn't even listen to the little fear in me that said he was going to use me for firewood. He dragged me home, and he chopped me up. And he tied me so that I formed legs and a little stand. And he filled the little stand that was me with hay. And he set me in a manger where the cattle were, and they came and ate their hay from me. Oh, I was happy. One bitter cold night, not long after I'd become a feed trough in the manger, a strange man came into the stable. He was a poor man with a kindly face. He looked around and then stepped out and came back with a lady. A lady in sad, poor clothes, but such a lady. She was lovely. Her face shone as though she'd swallowed her own little packet of sunshine, and her eyes glowed with a warmth that filled the whole stable. The man said, "It isn't much, Mary dear, but it will protect us from the cold night winds." I gazed at her until I couldn't watch anymore, and then I dozed into a sound slumber. Suddenly, I was awakened by a light that was brighter than the summer sun. It streamed through our stable. It seemed it filled the whole world. The lovely lady was by my side, and in her arms was a baby, a wondrous babe, a baby more glorious than she. And can you imagine the wonder of it? She wrapped her baby in a shawl and set him in me. In me, the scraggly little runt of a pine. And as she did, the sound of 1,000 angels cut the air outside, singing, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace to men of good will." I felt the infant hand touch my side, and suddenly I didn't envy the oak at all. Oh, poor oak, who was proud to hold the King of Earth, while I was holding the King of Heaven, the sweet baby Jesus.